Welcome back to Verge News, the go-to podcast for the latest updates on immigration policies and their impact. I'm your host, Amelia, and today we're diving into a deeply controversial topic: allegations of abuse at the Guantánamo Bay Detention Center and the legal battles aiming to bring these practices to light. Joining me is Lucas, my co-host, to unpack the ongoing developments. Lucas, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Amelia. Thanks for asking. This topic is incredibly complex, and there's a lot to cover, especially with the recent reports shedding light on the treatment of migrants at Guantánamo Bay. Let's get into it.
Absolutely. So as of March 2025, reports surfaced detailing alleged abuse faced by migrants detained at Guantánamo Bay. This includes everything from being strapped to so-called punishment chairs to being denied basic necessities like water. Unsurprisingly, this has led to public outrage and major legal action, particularly from the ACLU. What stood out to you about these allegations, Lucas?
What really struck me, Amelia, were the descriptions of the harsh conditions these detainees are enduring. Many report being confined in windowless cells for over 23 hours a day and subjected to invasive strip searches. Some have even attempted suicide due to the extreme isolation and the uncertainty surrounding their legal status. The psychological toll is enormous, and mental health experts are warning about long-term effects. It's deeply concerning.
It certainly is. And this ties into the lawsuit the ACLU filed just recently, on March 2nd. They're arguing that these transfers violate both U.S. immigration laws and detainees' rights to due process, particularly since being held at Guantánamo Bay severely limits their access to legal representation. What have attorneys said about this aspect, Lucas?
Attorneys have been very critical of the situation, Amelia. They emphasize that relocating these migrants outside the mainland makes it nearly impossible for them to properly access legal help. In fact, an earlier lawsuit from February 12th sought to secure legal access to detainees already at Guantánamo. This lack of access is a major legal and human rights issue.
Right, and it's interesting to note that the Trump administration justified the use of Guantánamo Bay by labeling these detainees as representing serious cases. Yet reports indicate otherwise, with profiles of detainees like Jose Daniel Simancas, a construction worker, and barbers Yoiker Sequeira and Mayfried Duran, showing minimal criminal history, primarily charges of illegal entry. This contrast has sparked heated debates about the proportionality of detaining them under such harsh conditions.
That's true, and the wider implications are significant. Guantánamo Bay is often associated with counterterrorism measures, yet these individuals cross the U.S.-Mexico border and have legal claims to U.S. protections. This has created a unique legal challenge since past detainees at the facility were often denied U.S. legal rights altogether. The current cases could push the government toward greater accountability.
And adding to all of this, there's the issue of transparency, or lack thereof. Families of detainees say they haven't been able to communicate with their loved ones at all, and attorneys report similar roadblocks. The silence is fueling anxiety not just around the detainees' safety and well-being, but also about the facility's accountability measures.
It's incredibly troubling, Amelia. Beyond that, there's also the financial side of this issue. The cost of detaining migrants at Guantánamo Bay is astronomical compared to standard immigration facilities. For example, the annual cost for one detainee at the Guantánamo Migrant Operations Center is estimated at $272,409, compared to $57,378 in standard facilities. And in maximum security detention, that's a staggering $13.5 million per person annually.
Those numbers are shocking. And to make matters worse, the Migrant Operations Center is reportedly in poor condition, requiring between $15 to $20 million in repairs just to meet ICE standards. It raises legitimate questions about whether this facility is even suitable for housing migrants in the first place.
Exactly. And while the Trump administration initially planned to house as many as 30,000 immigrants at Guantánamo, only 50 to 200 migrants have been transferred so far. This lower number may reflect a response to growing backlash and logistical hurdles.
As it stands, the ACLU and other advocates are driving the legal conversation, and their lawsuits could play a pivotal role in shaping what happens next. Meanwhile, the mounting critiques from mental health experts, human rights groups, and even financial analysts only add to the urgency surrounding this issue.
The stakes are high, Amelia. Between escalating costs, serious allegations of mistreatment, and unresolved legal questions, it seems like this policy is nearing a critical crossroads. The big question is whether these practices can or should continue.
And we'll be here to report on each development as it unfolds. That's all we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Visa Verge News. For more immigration updates, visit us at visaverge.com. Until next time.